Good morning. Good morning. Today we are going to be solving multi-step division number stories.
Multi-step division number stories. 1. Make an estimate and solve. Then answer the questions. Margaret and her friend have 2 summer job offers. A job babysitting is for 8 hours each week. With Margaret and her friend both working this job, they would earn $208 each week. A summer camp job is for 7 hours each week, and together they would earn $210 each week. Which job pays more per hour for each girl? How much more per hour? Estimate. The blank job pays more per hour. It pays blank dollars more per hour per girl. Equation with letter for unknown.
All right, so these multi-step division number stories, they may seem pretty hard at first, but we're going to tackle it by just breaking it down one step at a time. So first we need to figure out our estimate. So Margaret and her friend have 2 job offers, okay? The babysitting one, they would earn about $208 a week. So let's round that to 208 down to 200. So let's take 200 and then we're going to divide that by 2 because there are 2 girls. And so when we divide 200 divided by 2, we get 100. And now we need to figure out how much they would earn an hour. So they work about 8 hours a week. So I'm going to round that up to 10 to make it easier on myself. And now I'm going to take 100 divided by 10 to figure out how much that they will make an hour. And so when I divide 100 divided by 10, so I'm going to put B for babysitting over here so that I can remember. This is for babysitting. They make about $10 an hour, okay? Now, for summer camp, they would have to work 7 hours a week, and together they would earn $210. So once again, I'm going to round 210 down to 200 because I know that's a number I can easily divide by. There are 2 girls once again, and so if we take 200 and we divide it by 2, we get 100 again, okay? And they work about 7 hours, so I'm going to round that up to 10 again because once again, that's an easier number for me to divide by. So I'm going to divide that by 10 again. I'm going to round 7 up. And so once again, they're going to make about $10 an hour at both jobs. So this is our estimate, so they're pretty close. So now let's figure out how much it would be for each job, okay? So we have to do these 2 steps, and I know that it might seem difficult, all these steps we have to take, but if we just take it one step at a time, it'll be easy to figure out. So let's do the babysitting over here. Babysitting. I'm just going to write for babysitting, and I'm just going to write camp over here for us. Okay. So if we go back and look, they would earn $208 each week for babysitting. So we're going to take 208. We're going to divide that by 2. Okay. So let's do that first. Let's do this doing partial products. What number can I multiply times 2 to get really close to 208 without going over? Yes. So I think I would use 100. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 100, and I'm going to get 200. Now if I subtract, I just have 8 left over. And how many times can 8, can 2 go into 8? Yeah, it can go 4 times. So I'm going to take 2 times 4, it equals 8. I get 0, and now I know I'm finished. So now I need to add 100 plus 4, and I know that that equals 104. Okay, so the girls will earn about $104. Now we need to divide that by hours to find out which one pays more per hour. So now we're going to take 104, and we're going to divide that by 8 because that is the number of hours for this job. So how many times could 8 go into 104 without going over? So I like to use numbers that I know the facts for when I multiply them. So I know my tens pretty well. So I'm going to multiply 8 times 10, and that's going to equal 80. And now I need to subtract. So what is 4 minus 0? Yep, it would be 4. And I can't take away 8 from 0, so I have to borrow. I take 10 minus 8, I get 2. All right. Now I want to ask myself, how many times can 8 go into 24? And so 8 will go into 24 3 times. I know that because I know my facts. And so 8 times 3 equals 24. I subtract that, and that equals 0. And so if I add 10 plus 3 together, I get 13. So the girls make about $13 an hour for babysitting. So I'm going to circle that so I remember it. So now I need to do the same thing over here that I just did for babysitting for the camp. So for camp, they would earn $210 each week. So now I need to divide 2, draw a line over here so I know. I'm going to take 200 and divide that by 210. Right? So I can kind of do the same thing over here. How many times can 2 go into 210 without going over? I'm going to use 100 again because that's what I used over here. And I'll get 200. And if I take 210 minus 200, I would get 10. 2 times what equals 10? Yep, that would be 5. Okay. So 10 minus 10 equals 0. And now I'm going to add 100 plus 5. I'm going to get 105, right? So that's how much they make. Now I need to divide by the hours that they'll work to figure out how much they'll make an hour. It would be about 7. So I'm going to divide 7 and 105. All right, how many times can 7 go into 105 without going over? So once again, I'm going to use 10 because that's one that I know. I know that 7 times 10 equals 70. So now I'm just going to subtract 5. I can't take that away, so I have to borrow. 10 minus 7 equals 3. All right, and how many times can 7 go into 35 without going over? Yep, it will be 5 times because 7 times 5 equals 35. So I subtract these, I get 0. I add 10 plus 5, and I get 15. So that one, they make $15 an hour. So which job makes more per hour? The summer camp. And if I look at it, I make 15 at the camp and 13 babysitting. So if I take 15 minus 13, that is, yes, $2 an hour more. And so now I need to do the equation with the letter for the unknown. So now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to write out what I did. So I took 210 and then I divided by 2. If you do these little slash mark, that means divide. And then I took what the answer that I got, which ended up being 105, and I divided it by 7 because that was the number of hours that I worked. Okay, now let's go over here. So for babysitting, I did 208, and then I also divided by 2 because that's the amount of girls that were working. And then I divided that by 8 hours because that's how long they'd be working at the camp to equal. And then what kind of problem did we do once we got our answers of how much you made an hour? Yeah, we subtracted. So we subtracted these to figure out, let's just put H for how much they earned. And so this is how you do multi-step division number stories. Once again, these stories and these problems have a lot of parts and they look really difficult, but if you just break it down step by step, I promise that they will not be as bad as they look. Thank you so much for learning with me today.